So this is take two because take one didn't save. Of course it didn't. Welcome back to Mood AF, everybody. It's your girl Nikita. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you who are new to Mood AF, this is your brain on me. So don't overdose. But Mood AF is a podcast where we feature all tea, all shade, and all offense about literally anything and everything. So welcome to the family. If you are new here, please subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss a new upload, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, Mood AF is off of its hiatus. I know I had said I wanted to come back in the fall, come back, swinging. I had an idea, but you know what they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, and that's what I attempted to do, and now here we are. I know a lot of you are kind of like, ooh, this setup looks a little different. You're filming in your room. Actually I am in the comfort of my bed with the AC blasting, so I know you're like, why are you in a hoodie? Originally when I started Mood AF, I wanted it to be like a real comfy podcast, kind of like, what's shorty name, like Muffy in the Big Blue, no, that's Bear in the Big Blue House, wow. Muffy's Big Cozy Couch, or whatever the show's name. I know somebody's gonna read me for filth for screwing up the show that we all grew up on, but that was the feel I wanted it to have. Like, I wanted you to be comfortable. I wanted it to be like you're at home binging me in your pajamas, like you're chilling, you're being in your most relaxed state. So that's essentially where I want Mood AF to go. Like, I want it to be a late night show, something that, like, you just rolled up your J, you got a drink, you just chilling, and you're in for an hour or 45 minutes, whatever you may have, of just pure content, something that's gonna make you think, something that's gonna make you laugh, something that's gonna make you feel real good, or if it don't make you feel real good, you'll leave with a lesson learned or a takeaway, I'm hoping. So welcome back. I know it's been a while. I've missed you guys so much. Just to recap, I know we touched base on 14, which was voicemail, and on voicemail, I kind of like let you in the insides of where I was at and what was going on, and celebrating the anniversary and where we've been. A lot has happened since then, so just to briefly recap before we get into all tea, all shade, and all offense about today's topic. For those of you who don't know, I did turn 25, so I'm a quarter of a century. Thank you to all of those that showed me love, did an Insta post, a tweet, a snap, whatever it was. I appreciate all of the love that was thrown to me that day, the entire month of June, because the Gemini, must celebrate all season, and birthday month is birthday month. It's not birthday. We celebrate the full 30 days. So obviously, yes, I'm braided mommy because it is too hot in New York right now. I'm not even complaining about the heat because, honey, Texas heat don't got nothing on this. So I am braided mommy right now. Shout outs to my braider Chi. I love you. You are amazing. And of course, my nails are done. Thank you, Annabelle, for always slaying me for the last 4 years. You were greatly appreciated. So now, while I was away, was a lot of internal things I needed to work on, and I had a little self-check, and I realized that a lot of the toxic behaviors I'm displaying are obviously a result of a lot of unhealed childhood traumas, a lot of things that I need to make peace with, a lot of things that I keep putting off, a lot of excuses I keep singing, a lot of sob stories. Like, I'm just a whole big mess within myself. But I realized if I ever want to get to a point in my life where I have kids, there's a lot of things I need to fix internally before I pass them on to my children. So I know we've talked about this before, so I don't want you to think that we're doing a repeat of what we've done in the past, because we don't move back, we move forward. Episode 1 was about toxicity, but that was so broad. Today I'm narrowing it down. We are talking about toxic parents, toxic families. This is something that I feel like a lot of my friends tell me often, like their parents are very unsupportive, you know, I want you to do this in your life and not do this. I want you to do this and not do that. Or how come you don't have this? Your brother has this, or, you know, what may have you. We all have that one specific family member or a couple family members. It may be our entire family that holds on to this toxic energy, and now you in your adult years, you grew up around this, you saw this, now you're uncomfortable, and now it's passed on to you, and now you walking around here acting like a city boy or a hot girl. And that's not to say that I'm against Meg and the hot girl summer. I am totally here for everybody living their best hot girl summer, honey. Live your city girl summer. I am here for it. What I'm saying is a lot of our generation has been affected and now becoming these negative connotations to city girl, hot boy, city boy, because we're not dealing with our toxic parents and their bullshit. Like, let's call a spade a spade. There's so many different forms of being a toxic parent. You can be an absentee father, you can be a narcissistic mother, you can be an unattentive parent altogether. It just kind of depends on what the situation is. I have a lot of friends in the Latin community, the Latin Hispanic community, the Spanish community, because those three are not relatively the same, as I've recently learned. I have obviously a lot of friends in the West Indian community, myself included, who deal with the stigmas of being in unhealthy family environments. So again, for those of you who don't know, I am Guyanese, Portuguese, and Trini. My mother is Guyanese and Portuguese, and my father's Trinidadian. So I'm a mutt. I am the last of 5 on my father's side. I'm the last of 2 on my mother's side. So growing up all together, all the way around, you put it, I was the baby. Now, yesterday I was out with my mom and Bae, and you know, we were talking, and she was just like, I said something along the lines of, yeah, because Princess Nikki gets what Princess Nikki wants, but I was joking. And she was like, yeah, and Nikki needs to grow out of that now, because Nikki's a quarter of a century. And I was just like, now sis, you know that apple, it don't fall too far from the tree, honey. Like, let's keep it all the way funky here. My mother's the last of 13. She has the baby syndrome the same way I do. And then she only put the golden spoon to my mouth growing up. So here we are. There was a lot of toxic behavior that, like, now looking back on it as an adult, I was like, I'm disgusted that I even like portrayed, but it wasn't my fault as a child. So take for instance, I would beat myself up if I came home with a B, cause like, what is a B? You can't even beware, yeah, B for beware, because compared to my sister, who was an advanced placement student in literally everything, it's just kind of like, oh well, Alicia did AP, so you gotta do AP too. So growing up in junior high, I made it my business to make sure I was in AP everything, or I could have been in as many advanced placement classes, because I had to compete with my sister, who had a whole 10 years on me and was raised differently. You know what I mean? Like, you're forcing a whole child to do something that they don't want to do because it's ingrained in my parents' heads that once they migrated to America and they made their kids have to do better than what they did, and their kids have to, you know, appreciate the opportunities that we have here in America because they didn't have them back home. Okay, I get that. But that doesn't mean you now are gonna overwork me and overrun me. The same way how it came time for me to graduate and go off to college, and my mom was getting told from literally mad aunts and uncles, Nikki doesn't need to go away to school, Nikki needs to stay home, she's too young, da 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 da. And my pops was like, well, what we gonna do with her here? Like, let her spread her wings and fly. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you'll sit there and you'll listen to my family who will say don't go away, but then it's kind of like, oh wait, but we want you to go to a big name school. so you better go away. Or if you go away, you need to go away on scholarship. So you're putting way more pressure on me to continue to maintain these grades, be socially active, get a job, do all of these things. But then it's kind of like, yo, where's the resolve and all of that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's so intense to be an adolescent growing up in a household where we're normalizing certain behaviors and it's actually making it worse. You understand what I'm saying? So then when you get to your adulthood, you're kind of like, yo, this shit's not even healthy. Like, who taught me that it was okay for me to overwork myself to burnout? Because of the fact that growing up, I was so used to hearing, get A's, be in an advanced placement. For all my Texas friends that did international baccalaureate, another whole extra 5-6 courses onto my life that I don't even probably need. And then by the time I get to college, I'm really not even gonna need these, because college doesn't teach you shit that you really need to know in the real. I mean, it teaches you things you need to know in the real world. Let me rephrase that. High school doesn't teach you shit you need to know in the real world. College is like, yo, I played myself. Like, I literally sat in class my freshman year, like, and was like, this is not the way how they said it was gonna be in high school. Like, y'all really lied to me and pulled my leg. So something that I can relate to, and ironically one of my homegirls, she actually brought this up to me when I was polling you guys about like what's toxic behaviors that your family or like your parents bring to you. She said that her mom, when like her mom doesn't apologize after an argument, she'll just start speaking to her and her sisters again. And I was like, am I living in the Twilight Zone? Because that happens all the time. It happens way more than I would even like to admit to. Like, granted, I get it. Those are our parents. We are to love and respect them. Honor thy mother, honor thy father. However, I believe in honor thy child, honor thy children. Because, you see, when you get older and you get to a certain age, then you're going to expect me to take care of you. See, that's the problem, especially in the West Indian community. West Indian parents be making kids for their kids to take care of them. So the saying that I tell my parents all the time is, you didn't make pick me for mine you. Which is translation, I don't think you put me on this earth so that way I can take care of you in your old age. Because I want to, and I will, but that doesn't mean I'm responsible for taking care of you right now in my adulthood. And I think that's where the ball starts rolling, because I've noticed in a lot of Latin communities, a lot of, indigenous communities, a lot of African American communities, a lot of West Indian communities, it's your job to pay however many bills, on top of paying your student loans, on top of paying all of the extra weight that you need to pay and carry, whatever it may have you. It may be your upkeep. I know for me, these bad boys up here, they're not cheap. These bad boys right here, they're not cheap. These bad boys right here are not cheap, okay? Anything else I pay to maintain is not cheap. And I'm a real big believer in tipping 20%, especially when it comes to like my hair and nail services, because those people have to, my people know who they are, and they know I take care of them, because those are my people for as long as they would like to be my people. Neither here nor there. However, that's why we don't have any generational wealth, because my parents suckered me into going to school, and then a big name school at that, and then I go to college, I'm in over my ears in debt, and now I move back home, and now I can't live here for free, which, cool, I get it. Don't live in the house. You can't live in my house for free, or at least not have a job. So I have a job, so I'm going to work and I'm making money, but my money's not my money, because now my money is your money, because now you expect me to pay your bills on top of the bills that I'm paying. But then you're going to rush me to move out. How am I going to move out if I don't have any money saved? I don't have any money saved because of the fact that I'm still taking care of my parents, because I have to put money in the house, because I have to help out with the groceries, I got to help out with the laundry, I got to help out with this, I have to help out with that. Okay, so it just sounds like I'm getting run ragged and I'm becoming broker and broker by the second. And this is what's leading me back into the point of my homegirl, what she made with my sister, my mom, never apologizes. She just starts talking to me and my sisters again. My mother and I have this argument every month because every month I keep telling her, like, yo, sis, I didn't hit the lotto. So my money is my money. My money is not your money because you didn't work for this. Side note, to all of my little family who like to watch and like to lurk and like to smile in my face, but you're going to go run and tell the whole entire world, Nikki was shading, Nikki was shady, Nikki was shady. I don't care. My mom does not care because my mother and I have these arguments all the time. This is not brand new information, and the last time I posted on Facebook and caused a massive controversy, it was like, I don't understand why Black parents think that their kids need to pay rent, but yet want them to move out. Like, make it make sense. Like, which one is it? You want me to move out or you want me to pay rent here? Because you can't have both. We live in New York. I'm not making $90,000 a year. So I can't pay 2 rents at the same time. You need to pick one. Now, because my mother and I argue about this often, sometimes we will go days without speaking, sometimes going into like a week. Because I'm very high strung, and so is she. And I'm not going to back down because I believe that when I have my kids, the issues that have gone unresolved between myself and my parents, I need to correct those and fix those before I have kids of my own. And I say this with the hope of all of my friends, even people I don't know that are young parents, whatever issues, childhood traumas, unresolved issues that you have with your parents, fix those. Please do not pass those on to your children. Your children do not deserve to carry the burden that you are still carrying unresolved from your families. Leading me into my next topic, my homeboy has 2 daughters, and he let me know, he was like, yo, my parents make me feel like I'm an inadequate parent. And I'm like, why? Because you're not raising your kids the way how they raised you. And they were like, exactly. He was like, exactly. Like, that's exactly that. I would hope that you didn't raise your kids the way our parents raised us. Sorry, guys, there's a candle burning and I just don't want to burn my house down. I would hope that you didn't raise your kids the way your parents raised you, because I always feel like there's room for growth and room for improvement. There's things that my parents did phenomenally well with us that I would continue to, I would continue on with my own kids. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, as annoying as it was, having my sister as an advanced placement student and then me being an advanced placement student, where my nephew is, I want to see him become an advanced placement student. And then when I have kids, I want my kids to be advanced placement students. That's just because there's a level of excellence that I achieved, that my sister achieved, that I broke, that my nephew's going to achieve, and I want him to surpass me. And I want my kids to surpass him, and as well as myself. It's always room for growth. I feel like that's how we break these curses, because we find the cracks, we find the leak holes, and then we repair them before we pass them on to other people that we love. So I told him, I was like, yo, the way how you're raising your kids, you're doing things for you that's best for your family, that's best for your situation. Your parents are not in your situation. Our parents don't know what it's like to be millennials in today's age. Like, think about it. How many of us are single, went to school, in over our heads in debt? Or how many of us are in relationships, parents, 2 little ones, and then went to school, in over our heads in debt, and are being told that they need to raise their kids a certain way, or we need to live our lifestyles a certain way, so that way we have a certain thing that our parents didn't have. Like, for example, I was told I had to go to school. Then once I got my bachelor's, I need to go get my master's. Then I need to go get my doctorate in order to be at a certain place, to make a certain amount of money, to have a certain house, to do this and to do this. And this was all drilled into me. I'm talking like I had a specific aunt that would tell me every time I went to her house, what are you doing for your career? Are you looking at schools? Are you applying to schools? Are you going to open admissions? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? And it's just kind of like, yo, shut up. Like, you telling me to do it, it's not gonna make me want to do it more. Like, shut up. First of all, I went to school for communications. I can't stress that enough. I think we all know that. That's public record. But I'm not gonna get a doctorate in communications for what? Like, that don't make sense, sis. Not to say that people who have doctorate degrees in communications don't make bread. I mean, that's when communications to me starts getting hella boring, because then it sucks all the creativity out of it. And now all it is just legal documents and paperwork. Or if you want to be a professor to a bunch of college kids. I said I want to do that later on in my life. But even if I wanted to get my master's in communications, start sucking the creativity out of it. Whereas if I get my bachelor's, cool, I still get to be creative with it to an extent. Like, when you get your master's and your doctorate in certain areas, there's only but so much you can do before it starts sucking the life out of it and starts making it something that you don't love, and it starts making it an actual job. Now, in regards to your parents not being supportive, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a lot that I've done that Lynette and Selwyn have just been like about. So, for example, I left a SUNY school. I went to SUNY upstate. I'm not gonna disclose the name. If you went to school with me, cool. If you didn't go to school with me, mind your business. You didn't need to know that hot shenanigan of a mess back then. I went to SUNY, and then this is when my parents and I fought for the millionth time, because of course in the culture they don't think anxiety and depression is a real thing. And they think that you can go to church and God will fix everything. Do not get me wrong. I'm not knocking the Lord, because I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. That's Philippians 4:13. And of course, I know my God is an awesome God, and that's my judge and my jury and my vindicator. I'm not saying that. I don't believe in going to church every Sunday. That's just not my cup of tea. That's not my jam. I do go to mass occasionally, and I go to mass on holidays. Like, I'm not the perfect Catholic, nor will I ever aspire to be or claim to be. I know my relationship with God is my relationship with God, not yours. So you telling me to go pray my anxiety away ain't gonna do that. Like, there's no fixing that. It's not gonna help it. You telling me to, go to church and go to confession and speak to the priest and Father, forgive me for my sins, that's not helping me get out of bed every morning. Like, you don't know what it's like to have depression and feel like there's a weighted blanket on you every morning. You think I like not being a productive member of society? You think I want to stay in my bed every day and feel like, damn, every time I take 2 steps forward, I take 90 steps back? I'm comparing myself constantly to my friends and looking at who has this and who has that. And it's depressing me more, because there's millennials out here, same age as me, some even younger than I am, touching way more money than I do, doing absolutely nothing, or living off of mommy and daddy's trust fund, on private jets and yacht after yacht, out in Ibiza, doing whatever. You think that doesn't mess with my psyche? You think I want to feel like my chest is tight and the walls are caving in on me and I can't breathe because my mind is racing at 1,000,000 miles a minute? And you think God's gonna fix that, like, right then and there? Like, no shade if that's what you know. This is actual no shade, but if you feel that, then cool, let that work for you. But for the rest of us that don't feel that, so how we fix it? Let's go to therapy. Now you're telling me I'm crazy if I want to go talk to a licensed professional to get help for the issues that you put me through, that you won't apologize for, or you'll give me some watered down apology like, if you got hurt, I'm sorry. No. That's not an apology. You can't say if you got. No, you hurt me. You made me feel some type of way, and I'm letting you know that you made me feel some type of way, and that's just that. Don't sit and don't come to me saying like, if I got hurt or if such and such happened. No, it's not about that. Hold yourself accountable. I wish my mother would apologize sometimes and be like, yo, Nick, I fucked up. I'm sorry. No. I've made peace with that already, because I already know it's gonna be like, you're never gonna apologize. This move, like, it's fine. Still love you to death, but move. But toxic family members are also a thing too. Like, if you got a cousin that, like, every time you turn around, she got you in some mess. You got a cousin you always gotta bail out. You got a cousin that always got some issues every other day, and it's just fucking with your psyche. You don't have to speak to them. Do you understand how many cousins I have? Like, my mother was the last of 13. Okay, my family's way bigger than I would even like to admit. I don't talk to all of them. And the ones I do speak to, like, I speak to on occasion. I'll check in. But that don't mean I'm getting too close to them. That don't mean I'm not trying to, like, it's not to say that I'm not trying to build a bond, but I don't care who you are. It's 2019. My mental health and my peace come way before any bond that I'm ever trying to build. So if you out here adding to the problems, not alleviating them, honey, you gotta go. That goes for everybody. And I would hope that you guys would feel that too. Like, if you have an uncle that made you feel uncomfortable growing up, but you're a grown-ass adult, do not go ahead and be around that same person. Like, you don't got to be around that uncle that touched you or that made you feel uncomfortable. You don't got to be around that aunt that calls you fat every 5 minutes of the day, because, oh, honey child, let me tell you, growing up, Nikki was the token pumpkin, the butterball, the, oh, you need to stop eating this, or, oh, you need to stop eating that because you're never going to be skinny, you're never going to be this, you're never going to be that. That's so crazy, because now I got more curve on me, and now all y'all saying I look good. Don't be around that toxic godparent that wants to call you a dyke because you cut your hair and you got a fade, and now everybody thinks that you munch carpet. Yeah, no. And that was all shade, and no, I don't care. Y'all could go ahead and tell him. I don't give a shit. Anyway, moving on. I'm saying all this to say you are not responsible to be around people that make you miserable and that don't make you happy, okay? If you have, you know how many siblings I have that I don't speak to? Are you kidding me? My sister is getting married. My older sister, one of my older sisters, is getting married next year. I don't give a shit. I'm not about to put myself in an energy bubble where I'm unhappy and I don't feel good about myself to appease other people and their feelings. And I mean, there's people who will say, yo, reach out to so-and-so because I heard they were talking about you and they miss you and they spoke so highly of you. No, I'm good. Because you can love people from afar, but that don't mean you got to interact with them. You don't got to fuck with them directly. Like, I know a friend of mine who, her mother is the biggest narcissist, and I mean that with the utmost respect. Her mom is such a super narcissist and only cares about her. And whenever my friend wins, her mother is mad jealous, and her mother feels like she has to tear her down in the process. She don't even speak to her moms no more. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't even come to that. That we have parents that aren't owning up to their negative traits. And then now we, the kids, are wrong for not associating ourselves with them anymore. Like, no. I don't care if you brought me onto this earth. I don't care if you supported me when I was younger. If I caught on to what you're doing and it's making me feel unhealthy, it is my God-given right to not speak to you. It's my God-given right to walk past you every day. I had an aunt and a cousin and her mother-daughter. I loved them to absolute pieces. Literally, I loved them to pieces. Like, she was one of my favorite cousins too, because when she was so much older than me, she was already a mom, and growing up, whatever, you know, latest fly gear she could cop for me, she used to hook it up for me. Like, I'm talking like she's the one that put me onto Tiffany. She's the one that put me onto Gucci and Prada and Fendi and Louis growing up, because that's what she had. She worked for big name companies, especially in the skincare realm. So this is why my skin looks so good, because I used to dip into like $90 eye creams at like 6 years old, and I used to be like, oh, what's this type shit. I no longer fuck with her. So basically, long story short, at my grandmother's funeral, she tried to get crazy with my mom's, and I was like, yo, back. And she was like, no. And I was like, I said what I said, so back the back. And she just kept going, and then the fingers started pointing, and then all I knew was this, because what was gonna happen thereafter wasn't gonna be too nice. So I don't associate with her no more. I don't have to. I don't associate with her mother, her brother. No, nobody. I have no time for that. I'm also not in the business of, if you've made a slick remark about somebody that I love, somebody I care about, and you displaying toxic behavior, but me and you was cool, but you out here disrespecting the person that I love and that I care about, me and you is no longer cool then, sis, bro. Not happening. Like, I've literally watched my friends beat themselves up because their parents, literally, their parents and their backward logic have literally put them in unfortunate circumstances. Like, one of my friends got kicked out of her house because her mother's boyfriend was making her uncomfortable, and when she said something to her mother sided with the boyfriend. And I was really like, yo, is this life? Like, are you dead ass? Like, you really brought me into this world to pick a man over me? And then, like, I wasn't surprised, because to be honest, my father did the same thing. So when my parents separated, like, my father forgot all about me and was all in love with his woman at the time. And now I'm looking at my dad and I'm like, where's the woman? Exactly what I thought. So here we are. What our parents don't realize is that their generation also is the reason why America is in the shape that it's in, because they've given us this idea that we need to go to school and we need to spend all this fucking money, and then guess what, we're coming out loads and loads of debt. Like, yo, St. John's, Jesus Christ, like, I got ripped a whole new asshole because I went to St. John's, like, and because I went to St. Francis. I went to private schools because, why? My parents drilled in my head, go to a big name school, Nikki. You need to go to a big name school, Nikki. Why? So that way they can flex to a bunch of people that don't even care about me anyway. That don't even know who I am in my adult life. That won't even come to graduation or send me a gift. They're gonna be like, yo, the gift was the diploma. Okay, Sarah, do you know how hard it was to get the fucking diploma in the first place? Like, the least you could do is give me $100. The least you could do is like, hey, like, let's throw her a dinner. But you know what? I'm tired of people throwing dinner. I'm tired of throwing dinners because people do what they want and don't show up or cancel last minute or come in sweatpants. If that was shade, no, I don't care. Please don't tell me about it. Again, I don't care. Neither here nor there. My point is, it is up to us, the millennials, like right now, if you were between the ages of, because I was checking my demographics and come to find out I'm touching a lot of upper millennials. Like, I'm talking like in the 30s. Hey y'all, it's nice for you to join me, considering my sister is 35. So I grew up around a lot of her friends, and I think a lot of her friends watch my show too. Hey, brothers and sisters. It's up to us to not pass these toxic traits on to the kids and the next generation. I look at the way how my sister and I were raised and the way how our mom did things with us, like, and I look at my sister and I'm like, yo, Jay did the same thing we did, but you handled it so much more differently than mom did. And she's like, yeah, because I'm not mom. And what mom went through in her 20s, I didn't go through in my 20s, and you're not going through in your 20s. When my mom was 25, my mom already had a baby, and she was with my dad. You understand what I'm saying? My sister at 25 was engaged and was pregnant with my nephew. Me at 25, I literally, like, just got a boyfriend, like, after starting fives for season after season. You understand what I'm saying? Like where each of us was in our 20s was so drastically different. But at 25, like, I wasn't thinking about being somebody's wife or somebody's mom. At 25, I'm thinking about, like, how can I get this bag and have my student loans forgived and make enough money off my own shit to where I'm not coming to work a bitter, miserable ass person because all I focus on is building somebody else's dreams and not my own. And then I'm thinking about, like, what I'm going to eat for lunch because I forgot my lunch at home, or can I afford it because society tells me that I need to pack my lunch every day instead of raising wages to where you can be comfortable and live. But, you know, neither here nor there. So I guess you can see where my thought process is going with this. I think we need more parents to be way more supportive in general. If you see the state of the country, you look at where immigration is, you look at what Dr. Robotnik, Mr. Cheeto, and because that's y'all president, that's not my president. My president, you know, his name is Mr. Obama. He did everything that he could and left the country in the best shape that he could with how it was given to him, because y'all keep forgetting that it wasn't given to him correct. It was given to him damaged. He fixed it, did what he could, and then now here we are. I think our parents need to realize that where the country is, it's not in the most perfect of states. So with that even being said, like, don't have this insane amount of pressure on us to go to school, get good jobs, and then build homes and start families. In our communities, not everybody's community is able to do that. Like, this is no shade to any one of my Texas friends, but a lot of my friends that live out in the South, like a lot of my Caucasian friends, like their parents have businesses that have built generational wealth. So they're able to work in the family business. So some of them are able to start building their homes at 24, 25, 26 and get married and have the family and be on 2-3 kids by maybe like 30. Yeah, guess what? That's not always happening in the African American community, the Latinx community, the West Indian Caribbean community. That's not always happening. You know why? Because we are told to go to school, to come out in debt, to pay our parents' bills. Like, I want to know why our parents think that it's our jobs to take care of them in our millennial age as opposed to when they're in their older age and we're in our older age. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not hitting the lotto tomorrow, and even if I did, if I hit the lotto tomorrow, cool. I'd be more than happy to take care of my parents. More than happy to. I'm not in a position to do that right now. So why are you expecting me to contribute damn near 70-80% of my check to the household when yet it's only 2 of us? And basically we fund for ourselves. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I feel in my hardest of hearts that it's up to me, myself personally, to break the generational curses that have come onto my family and the stigma of toxicity that's come onto my family and come onto me. Like, there's a lot of shit I need to personally handle, which is why I haven't had kids, because this whole, like, I see my kid struggling, but I'ma still make my kid pay rent, and I'ma still be on my kid phone line, and I'ma still make my kid pay for groceries, and I'ma still make my kid pay for this, that, the next and the third. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm blessed for my life every single day. I thank God that I am on this planet. I thank God that I am here another day. But I didn't ask to be here. You made that choice for me. So why is it that you parents make us and then put us on this earth to then punish us in our adulthood for things that we don't want to stand for? Are you kidding me? Like, you're talking, we have narcissistic moms who literally are jealous of their daughters for coming up and winning. Like, you should be supporting your daughter. You should be like, yo, this is my baby girl. Like, she winning out here. Then you have absentee dads who, listen, do not get me wrong, we always coming for the men. A narcissistic mother is just as bad as an absentee father. Not comparing apples to oranges, however, they're one and the same. They're both terrible. Then you got absentee fathers who don't come around, and then when they see they sons grown on the block, they like, yo, why you on the block? And then it's kind of like, you never gave me anything to look up to, so here I am. Or you walked out on me and mom, so this is what I'm seeing, here I am. Or this one's my favorite. You got the moms who worship the ground the son walks on, babies the son, but then is riding the back of the daughter. Like, I'm talking, well, you need to do this, and this, because you need to be this, and this. But then their son, that's their king, that's their world. You can't tell them nothing about their son. Their son has everything that he could ever possibly imagine. You're out here babying the shit out of your son. And then when your son goes out and finds a woman who ain't gonna tolerate his shit, that's when he becomes a fuckboy. And that's when he starts spitting his bullshit. And then, you know, what happens? My favorite cycle happens there shortly after. Fuckboy meets a great woman, fucks her over, turns her into a fuck girl. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the circle of life, and it moves us all. Let us not continue that circle of life. Let us be healthy 20, 25, 30. Let us be, listen, if you watch my show and you are between the ages of 18 and 40, let us be healthy millennials, period. Okay? I am all here for the hot girl summer. I am. Within reason. I am here for the city girl summer. Within reason. Listen, and I'd be lying if I called myself a feminist, but I wasn't for the equality of men. I am here for the city boy, and I'm here for the hot boy. Within reason. Within reason, okay? Within reason. Because men, you give them an inch and they take in a mile. Like, I ain't say all that. What I mean within reason, if you are out here being safe, getting tested, making sure your parts are all in alignment and they all work and they're healthy and they're functioning. If you are out here, you know, being the best, happy, healthy you. So what if you have a starting 5 or you got a big 3? Like, you out here, you get into that bag, you doing you. Cool. Live your hot girl summer, live your city boys. Matter of fact, the city boys, y'all took that and ran with it, okay? And if you think that you can't be a hot girl in a relationship, I just need you to reassess, because Meg Thee Stallion is definitely with Moneybagg Yo. And Lil Miss Carisha got her nice little bun in the oven. So live your hot girl summer, live your city girl summer, live your best life, period. Like, live your best life, period, without your toxic parents and your toxic ass family members. Okay? You don't have to speak to your parents every day. If I spoke to my parents every day, I don't know what I'd do. Like, I got to a point where I was comfortable with not speaking to my parents every day. When I lived in Queens, I didn't like speaking to my parents every day. I was kind of like, yo, I don't live there. Don't call me. I'll call you. However, please be aware that if you choose not to interact with these toxic people in your life anymore, make that a permanent decision. Don't be a revolving door. Don't do what your parents did to you. Don't, like, sit there and 1 second, like, oh, I'm gonna forgive them, I'm gonna, like, make peace with it, but then every time we argue, I'm gonna bring it back up. That's something even I'm fighting with too, because I'm very quick to pull the, oh, but you did this card, oh, but remember 6 years ago when you did that? Like, if you're gonna make peace with it, wash your hands from it and move it on. In the same way how it goes if you got, like, a toxic aunt or a toxic uncle you don't want to talk to no more. Like, let it be. If you see them at the family function, don't even speak. Oh, so-and-so didn't speak to me, you know? Oh, she just walked, she text you and she passed me and she walked right. Yeah, okay, I walked straight past you because I don't like you. I don't care for you. I don't have anything to say. You've had nothing nice to say about me, so why should we speak? Why should we associate? You don't do anything for me in my adulthood, and I'm no longer a child. I'm a grown adult. So I'm not liable to speak to you. I'm not obligated to speak to you. So what? Why? Because we share the same blood? Okay, if I'm not disrespecting you and I'm not putting you in harm's way, so the fuck what if I do not want to talk to you? Do you know how many family functions I don't go to just because I don't want to hear, oh, well, you walk past this person. Yes, I walk past them for a reason, because I know me. I get disrespectful when I'm disrespected. And it's not even about like the apology, because let's face it, the older generation, they don't know, not all of them know how to apologize. Because if you see me at the family function and you make me feel some type of way, and then at one family function and then I have to see you at another family function, but you ain't apologized for your first screw up, I'm damn sure not talking to you, period, ever again. Whether you apologize or not. You apologize, cool, thank you so much, made peace with it, forgave you because it was the correct thing to do for my spirit, moving on. I'm not gonna speak to you ever again, because it's embedded in my mind that you're not a good person, and that you're only out for self, and that you only care about whatever the fuck you care about. Like, the older baby boomer generation, they are some of the most miserable fucks I know. Like, it's sad, because it's not even like our parents. Sometimes it's like our neighbors, or you know, our aunts and uncles, or our godparents, or people that like we really love and care about in our family, like that we were so infatuated with as kids. And then you grow up and you get in your adulthood and you realize how much misery really loves company. Like, you see how sad their lives are. So because they're sad, they have to make everybody else sad in turn. No, it's 2019. We're not dealing with any more negative Nancy's. I'm damn sure not. I don't even care if you were the last person on earth. You're a toxic family member, I'm not obligated to speak to you. Your toxicity is coming all up on me and all up on my good energy and good vibes, honey, my good aura. I'm not here for it. So I thank you all for sharing your stories with me. You know, obviously I'm always here. If you ever need to reach out to me, come talk to me. I know my plate is full and I know I'm out here stressing out, but I'm always here for my friends. I'm always here for my audience. I love you guys so much. I thank you for being with me throughout this entire process. This hiatus has definitely not been easy. I have definitely lost my mind quite a few times. I've cried quite a few times, and you know, I just missed doing the show. I missed the feelings I would get, the gratitude that it gave me, the self-preservation from just doing something that's mine. Like, this is like where I find my most happiness. I'm free to create and expand and do everything that I want to do, and I just feel so good to be so covered in love with my audience, my viewers, you know, the people who even just watch me for like 15 minutes and then keep it moving. I will say that I am trying to get the audio out to you guys within the next few days. I'm gonna try to strip it as best as I can and send it over to my engineering team. Stay tuned. There are gonna be a lot of changes in store, behind the scenes, and of course moving forward. So it was actually nice to film in my bed. Like, I didn't have to pay somebody to rent their studio. That is no shade to anybody. It's actually nice not having to pay an added bill and an added expense, especially because Mood AF by itself is so expensive, and everything I want to do for the show is so expensive, which is why I haven't gotten the merch out to you all, because I want my merch to be of top quality. I don't want you guys to have product that isn't great. I don't want you guys to have product that you feel I just kind of slapped together, threw together, and was just like, all right, boom, that's it. I didn't want that. I wanted you guys to feel like I took my time with it. I'm still working on a couple things. So because I wanted Mood AF to have the feel of watching it from a late night perspective, what I'm working on is doing my very own line of pajamas. I'm doing pajamas. So like sleep shirts for the girls, the hot girl kind, the hot girl onesies, you know, the onesies, the short ones with your booty cheek showing. Yeah, those. I'm doing thigh high socks. For guys, I want to do boxers or briefs, maybe both, just because, whatever. And I'm gonna do not ankle socks, what kind of socks? The crew cut socks, whatever, like the Nike socks, whatever. definitely do want to do hoodies. If there's something merch wise that you'd like for me to make or that you want to see me do, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to add it to the ever-growing list of things that I really want to do for the show. You guys, your feedback is really important to me. I know, please bear with me. This is not the ideal studio setup. I know you're so used to seeing me record with lights, mics, sound, you name it. But to me, it was more important. A little birdie, someone really special, close to my heart, told me that I needed to suck it up because it was way more important for me to get the content out to you all. And it was, because I was watching people who ain't have YouTube videos start making YouTube videos, and I'm like, they not even doing it the way how I do it. Like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, my little ratchet head tie right now. I got the fade underneath here, don't worry. But I've rambled on for far too long. I love you guys. As always, thank you for supporting my show. Please click that bell notification so you'll never miss new uploads of Mood AF. My name is Nikita. Thank you for joining me.